Content pack ready. Ghost Popper loaded. You scared? Never. You first. PKE meter reads a class 3 ghost. It's Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Rooster. Oh no.
Who you gonna call? Well, it sure as frick better not be me, because one, how did you get my phone number? And two, good luck reaching me because my apartment has sheet metal siding and I don't get any service in there. However, if you're calling for a tag back, because it's been a little while now, and yeah, the Maverick tag back's coming, get off my back, it's a hard video, and I need to do something else, and I need a break, so that's why there hasn't been a tag back, get over it. This time, we're gonna be taking a look at something that predates the Nerf Blaster. And there's actually a couple of these things, and this is a foam flinger, and it's somewhat interesting because it is the 1984 Kenner Proton Popper. And that was actually somewhat difficult to find out the exact name of because people call this like 17 different names. But as you can clearly tell, this is based off Ghostbusters, the 1980-something comedy that came out before I was born. But actually, I think this is based off the cartoon The Real Ghostbusters, which they were still doing reruns of as I was a kid, and I remember them because it's awesome. But getting over myself, this is a blaster from The Real Ghostbusters, not the movies, the cartoon show. It's good, just watch it sometime. And it's actually frickin' horrible. I've looked at a lot of blasters in my time, and while there are some like the Tech 3 or that alligator thing from the Max Force line or the Stinging Scarab or whatever the heck you want to call them, none of them have really been this. This is god-awful. Maybe it was better, you know, frickin' like too many decades ago, but this is just frickin' horrible. So what the heck is it? Well, it's meant to be kind of a thing based off the proton thing that, you know, like wrangles them ghosts in the Ghostbusters, and, well, it comes with 6, I have 5, of these frickin' packing peanut things. This is on loan for me from Barrett. You should check out his channel in the corner. He's legitimately funny. Way better than that Welcome dude. And it's a thing that you take this. It has 6 feet. I only have, you know, these. You put it in here, and it actually has a really, really tight seal. Like, it's not a seal issue. It's an issue of it's a hamp, and it's freaking weird. That almost looked impressive, I know, except for when you realize it literally went, I would say about 12 feet angled. 2.12 Walcoms, to be exact. The Proton Popper. Now, this is interesting because, of course, it was a toy that was made before Nerf actually was doing any kind of blaster thing, unless you count, like, the freaking stomp missile thing they made, which I don't think anybody even knows what I'm talking about, so I'll put a picture in here and everybody's going like, oh, I have 17 of those, and I know how this goes. But it is interesting because this was kind of like Kenner, again, Kenner, 1995 Kenner crossbow, yeah. This is kind of their answer to Nerf at the time, and it honestly was a pretty cool little toy, I'm sure. I mean, I would expect toys from back then to be super freaking dangerous, lawn darts impaling kids, you know, just piercing their bodies into the lawns and stuff like that. And this is like the exact opposite of that. This is like the most mundane toy I've ever had my hands on. It's the Proton Popper, but there were actually different blasters in this line. This was not the only one. There was, I believe, what was called the Ecto Popper with goggles, which was like a smaller version of this that had goggles that actually held this kind of ammo on it. Because why the heck not? And there was also something legitimately kind of cool in the, I think it was called the Ecto Blaster, which was a repeating version of this that had like some kind of hopper or drum thing. I actually have no idea because I tried looking for like some kind of video on it and I couldn't find crap. And the only ones I could find were like sealed brand new on eBay for like $100 and something. And no, I'm not going to buy that for the purpose of doing a stupid freaking tag back, but if somebody has one and wants to send it to me, I'd totally be down for that, and totally won't sell it on eBay after the fact, honest. Way, way cool, and you gotta keep in mind that this stuff came out before Nerf. It's a foam-flinging blaster that came out before Nerf. I'm gonna shoot my camera because this thing doesn't do anything. It's freaking tiny and it sucks and it's horrible, but it was the start of something cool. And I'm sure other people are going to say, oh no, there's other things there, like the Genesis and Nerf coming in, whatever. I don't really freaking care, because this thing's god-awful, and for some reason I'm doing a tag back on it, because it's sitting in my garage, and I'm in a weird mood, and I'm doing it freaking, it's Ghostbusters, you know, it's freaking, they catch ghosts, and they have terrible blasters. So the question is, should you pick one of these things up? And the answer to that is fairly obvious. Yes, because they go for a pretty penny on eBay, especially if you can find ones with little packing peanut foam things. I'm sure you could make this. It feels literally like some kind of insulation, a little more dense than that, but not a whole lot so. Yeah, they sell for like 50 bucks on eBay, maybe less so if you have one that doesn't have any of the ammunition, but yeah, not a bad premium for something like this. But should you actively go out there and get one? Now, you might be the biggest Ghostbusters fan ever, and we're not talking about the new freaking movie that came out that I literally will never ever watch. Even if I was like strapped down, I would rather try to take out my eyes with my tongue. This is for the cartoon of the original movie, and you might be a massive fan, and well, I guess if you were Barrett, and you really wanted to shame somebody, this thing hits less than Attack 3. This thing hits less than pretty much everything. In fact, I actually honestly wonder if this is worse than the Atomizer. This thing's god-awful. It almost feels like it has some kind of potential, because it's a decently sized, like, plunger-ish tube, and, I mean, it makes a terrific seal. Shove that sucker, it's on there as much as it can go, and...
Snake, what's wrong? Snake? Snake!
Almost. Almost. That would have been cool to get on video, but of course that never happens, because I'm just nearly not enough cool to have something like that happen on video. No, I wouldn't really go out and try to get something like this. If you find one with the ammo at a thrift store and you want to run it in a war, it is the joke. It is the Colibri. It is the freaking rubber chicken. It's the plunger, the toilet plunger thing. That's what this thing is for. Otherwise, it's not worth your time, and I don't really recommend picking it up. If you're a collector of, you know, the real Ghostbusters memorabilia and stuff, you could totally get this thing, but I wouldn't really recommend it. And I don't, unless you find one with like the ammo and stuff and you want to flip it on eBay, that's about the only point to have something like this. But then again, Brett, he fires these things at wars because he's a glutton for punishment. Whatever. I better end this video before these freaking packing peanut things all blow away and I'll never find them ever again. I'm Walcom S7. Thank you very much for watching this video. And yes, Tagback will be making his regular return. I just needed a little bit of a break, and I think I already said that, but whatever. Thank you very much for watching this video. I do highly, highly appreciate you sitting here watching me ramble like a moron in front of a camera for upwards of 8 minutes at a time. Very much appreciated. Especially you, John, and Sandy. I'm sure there's a John and Sandy somewhere in there. But, yeah, why not? I don't know how to end videos.